This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
The essay entitled Representation of Disney Princesses in the Media by Isabelle Gill compares the portrayal of women in the media with the depiction of Disney princesses in film reviews. The author argues that both women in the media and Disney princesses in the reviews assume strong feminist features and are primarily seen through the lens of passiveness and domesticity. To effectively present her point of view, the author analyzes the trends in the current depiction of princesses. The author claims that these tendencies comprise traditionally feminine vocabulary, degrading physical descriptions, and critiques that serve to trivialize accomplishments. To make her argument, the author uses exposition rhetorical mode, which consists of a thesis, arguments to support it, and the restatement of the author's idea. Thesis: The essay Representation of Disney Princesses in the Media by Isabelle Gill shines a light on the representation of Disney princesses in film reviews, and the author argues that princesses are portrayed to have mainly feminine, passive, and domestic features. Personally, I agree with Gill's view on the topic as, in my experience, Disney princesses tend to be described in language that highlights their feminine and passive features. Serving as inspiration for many young women worldwide, these characters usually encompass gentleness and kindness, which are typically feminine traits. Moreover, many reviews focus on their physical appearance, highlighting the sexuality of the Disney princesses. However, I would do it differently if I were to present this argument. I would compare the representation of male and female personas in Disney films reviews to show the drastic difference in the choice of lexis and overall representation. Some people may disagree with the author's stance because some Disney princesses exhibit masculine features such as courage and recklessness. However, these character traits are often downgraded in film reviews that people read. I believe female audiences would benefit from reading the articles since girls and women will see how they are being manipulated through film reviews to fit the roles envisaged by men. Isabelle Gill's research of Disney princesses highlights the gender bias that continues to be perpetuated through film. She raises awareness about how this language is unusual for strong female characters by evaluating 95 adjectives that are employed in a way that is stereotypically associated with femininity. In her findings, common descriptions given for heroines include feminine and flirty, and these words take away from their character depth as well as what it truly means to be a princess. Through proper recognition, however, we can remind ourselves that each heroine deserves more than just a stereotypical description. They deserve strength-filled connotations worthy of such powerful figures. Therefore, we must champion a new, brave approach to portraying princesses in our culture that encourages independence and resilience over antiquated notions of femininity. Doing so will allow young girls everywhere to foster positive self-worth while providing future generations with broadened perceptions of strength and confidence. With such an effortless shift, we can empower children around us and ensure they never forget their infinite worth as royalty. With Disney characters displaying physical characteristics, often weakening their portrayal in films, the disparity between men and women remains a lingering presence. Gill found that 20% of these movies focus on heroines' appearances rather than identities, a seemingly derogatory practice that fosters society's beauty standards held predominantly by males. This suggests an underlying message to women: compliance with existing stereotypes is often more beneficial than challenging them head-on. The lack of accurate representation can further perpetuate feelings amongst females that they cannot compete at the same level as men without conforming first. Today, women are in charge of a rapidly changing world of work, and they demonstrate that extraordinary accomplishments can be achieved through intelligence and perseverance. This brave shift towards gender equality is, unfortunately, being overlooked by much of our mainstream media. They seem to depict princesses as weak, incompetent role models who do not represent society's progression as they should. Instead, we should celebrate these real-life heroines for their courage and determination. Gill further suggests that media outlets often portray princesses in a way that reinforces femininity stereotypes, minimizing the positive qualities typically associated with them. Despite attempts to present more progressive images of these female characters, their perceived frailness remains largely unchanged and presents an ethical problem for how they are presented. Moving forward, carefully considering this issue when producing content related to Disney's iconic heroines is important. Gill states, future research could examine children's perception of the Disney princesses at various age levels to determine whether or not adults are more likely to subscribe to these inaccurate portrayals than children. Thus, a change in how the media portrays the strengths of women. Disney movies have been criticized for perpetuating stereotypes about the capabilities of women, teaching children that they cannot stand on their own and need protection. Gill's article pointed to this conditioning as part of an unbreakable cycle, and if these values are passed down through generations, it becomes difficult to challenge them in today's society. Criticisms such as not finding characters empowered enough only reinforce existing assumptions instead of proposing change or progress upon societal conventions. Women have waged a long struggle for self-empowerment, and one way to make an impactful statement is by revising the portrayal of princesses in Disney films. Transcending entertainment value, this act can encourage continuous strides towards bettering society's attitude towards women now and far into the future. Gill provides compelling evidence that instances of gender prejudice in the media are prevalent and can lead to far-reaching social repercussions. She has skillfully presented an argument that exposes the detrimental misrepresentation of Disney princesses within past reviews. Her robust insight and analysis highlight their significant influence over gender roles, especially in children, and cannot be underestimated. As a result, she demonstrates how a shift from such inaccurate depictions is urgently needed to mitigate further damage caused by these seemingly innocuous characters. This essay on Gill's representation of Disney princesses in the media was written and submitted by a student just like you. The Ivy Panda Samples database hosts thousands of works similar to this one, on various subjects. Visit ivypanda.com to find what you are looking for.